What's going on, guys? It's Smudgy here, and today I want to talk about the couple of new maps that dropped with the Season 3 update. I think obviously with Warzone's new map arriving, they are getting overlooked a little bit, and I have played a fair amount on them today, and they're honestly a ton of fun. I was pleasantly surprised since we haven't had many 6v6 maps from Treyarch for Cold War, new ones that is. So of course the two new maps are Diesel and Yamntau. Is that how you pronounce it? Yamntau? It's set in the USSR mountains, so I'm gonna let myself off. I think it's Yamntau. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that to anyone that can actually pronounce it. It's set in a snowy landscape. It reminds me of Payload a bit from Black Ops 4, the way that the large building is set out. It's the main focus point of the map. It's a really fun map. I was thrilled when I played my first match in it. It's a really kind of run and gun kind of map. There's very few, if any, positions you could probably hold and not get flanked by. Even like back of spawns are flankable, which is great to see. It really helps force people to move. I was using the PPSH in this and the ballistic knife, but any gun that can really handle small to mid-range encounters you're going to be fine with. It's super fun. Honestly, I could have played on that all day, and I think I will until the Warzone update arrives, I have to say. Treyarch described it as a small map. It's not exactly big, but it definitely sits on that small to mid-sized map boundary almost. There are definitely some very long lines of sight that are standard SMG that's not the AK-74. You will struggle to kind of compete against an AR, which is good. You need that variety. There's a ton of different levels in it, you know, a ton of different altitudes to fight from, look down from, look up. You know, you can even rappel up one of the windows, you can jump out into the windows, you can fall off the map. I managed to do it 3 times in one game. It's a really good map. I'm honestly thrilled. This is the sort of map that I think the game's been begging for almost, and if it doesn't get broken, which, you know, maps do because it's Activision and Treyarch, or if people just stop running about, it's going to be far harder to outflank an entire team of 6 as opposed to, you know, 3 people that are camped up in one room. But it's a good map so far. I'm going to make the most of it while people are still exploring it, and I know it a bit better to crush them hopefully before skill-based matchmaking catches up with me. With that being said, we'll move swiftly on to Diesel. Now Diesel is one of those maps that can be done 6v6, 3v3, 2v2, so for gunfights for those smaller ones. At the moment it's currently in a face-off playlist, so that is essentially normal objective modes and team deathmatch, no kill streaks, just weapons. Great for levelling up guns, I will say, like SMG is fantastic for levelling up in face-off, highly recommend. But the map itself feels massive for 3v3, it'd feel even bigger on 2v2. But also I feel like it'd feel crowded on 6v6, it'd rival the pace of Nuketown on 6v6, that's how fast paced I reckon it would get with full teams. 3v3, I don't know if this was because it was like the second time I played it, it took a while to kind of find people, but also I think that's part of the map has a lot of little corners and alcoves for people to sit in with their shotguns. And we found one team in one of the matches and it was just a nightmare to play against them. It felt a lot of the time like you were struggling to flank efficiently to kind of get rid of them. It was possible, and there's a ton of flank routes because it is such a twisty and windy map. It was just a bit of a struggle to find them, and I'm sure that will come with experience on the map alongside it, and people will learn that, you know, the camping spot they think they've got isn't as good as it maybe first seems. It's a good map though. With all that being said, it's enjoyable, it's fast-paced, it's very awareness heavy. You have to be paying attention to who you're shooting, but also where the other red dots are popping up on the minimap, because it's pretty easy to close the distance the moment you finish a gunfight, and you will be getting flanked from like 3 different directions whenever you think you're safe. Super engaging map. I'd be interested to see what it's like on 6v6 as opposed to 3v3 with kill streaks. There's like next to no indoor cover, so if someone gets an aerial kill streak, the only really indoor cover is the gas station in the centre, and it's super easy to kill people out there. There's a few little containers knocking about towards the edges of the map you could hide in if there was an aerial kill streak. Very little cover though, and I think that's what might let it down in terms of the lack of kind of vertical cover almost, is that everyone would have to be running rocket launchers just in case someone does get, you know, one of those big powerful kill streaks, because then you'll just get obliterated. I guess the solution is to make sure you're the one with a big powerful kill streak. The one other thing I would say is there is a lack of verticality. One of the spawns does have kind of like this raised platform, but it is wooden kind of cover, so you can get shot through it. And then other than that, you can climb on top of the trucks on one side of the map, and there's not really much else to it. The lack of verticality is probably its biggest downfall. It's a fantastic map, don't get me wrong. It's better than a lot of other base maps in the game. But yeah, there's a few things I personally would have changed, but it's definitely playable, definitely enjoyable. However, Yamntau is where I will be stationed until the Warzone event if anybody needs me. And with all that being said, let me know what your thoughts are on the new maps. Have you had a chance to play them? Have you solely been playing Rebirth? Have you just not had a chance to hop onto the game? I know midweek updates are a pain for a lot of people. Do let me know in the comments down below. Remember, I will be streaming the second part of the Warzone event at 8 PM British time. If you do want to hop along and chill out in the chat, as we probably just sit on the loading screen and get kicked out of games repeatedly again, but you know, we'll vibe. As always, if you did enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to find your way back. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.